moving on is talking about nonsense. Self-love increasing and nonsense decreasing. What is this nonsense I'm talking about? It's whatever that's draining your energy. Okay, it could be disrespect. A lot of times disguised as jokes. People, I'm just playing, or you look like you getting big. I'm just playing. Like you're not playing though. It's not a joke. They try to disguise it as a joke because they too don't like confrontation or chaos in a sense, but they don't want to be upfront and insult you. So they kind of wrap it up as a joke. Yeah, nonsense. One-sided relationships. We talked about this a little bit. If you the one always calling, always checking up, always checking in, always being there, being the support, following up, and they not doing the same, they not, reciprocating that energy that you giving them. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't believe in matching energy, because if somebody is around me or is in my environment and their energy is really toxic and really low, I'm not stooping down there. I'm not doing that. But I do believe in giving what you get, when it comes to relationships. Like I said, we are limited. We are not these supernatural beings, unfortunately. Okay? We are not. And we have to acknowledge that. But if you always the one that's giving, support, honey, listen, you need to slow it down, and you need to wheel it back in, and you need to match where they at with you. Now, granted, people only give what they have when they have it, right? But at the same time, you got to reevaluate some things if you always the one. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. It's your girl Sadie, a certified self-love and confidence coach, back with another video. Thank you for the birthday wishes, the birthday shout outs, the blessings, all that good stuff. I appreciate it, highly appreciate it. Okay, today we're gonna dive into a conversation that a lot of people have been talking about, resonating with. I recently made a post about it, and I had a few comments on another platform that inspired me to elaborate on this even a little bit further. So if you got any topics, conversations, or anything you want to speak about, talk about, go ahead and send them to me, and we can get going with that. And I love to hear other perspectives and viewpoints. So if it's something about, or you got a little bit of wisdom on, feel free to share it. I'm always open to other perspectives, ideas, and experiences. Okay, so what we're gonna be talking about today? When self-love increases, tolerance for nonsense decrease. All right. If you've been on the journey for a while, you might have noticed a little bit of something. You might have noticed the more you start loving yourself, nurturing yourself, healing, growing, just like staying in your lane, tunnel vision, climbing, pursuing, you notice you tolerate less things, people, habits, and situations just don't get your attention the way that they used to. Now, I'm not going to say this comes with age, because unfortunately, age don't have nothing to do with it, okay? Sometimes it do. Most times I would say it does have something to do with it. As you age, your tolerance and your window of tolerance and your patience kind of, dwindle a little bit, and you just like, I don't got time for that no more. You might have been into the gossip, the drama, the foolishness in your early days, in your teenage days, in your early 20s, maybe 30s, I don't know. You might have been a little more into the drama and the gossip and stuff, but sometimes you get older and you like, I don't got time for that. You like, I gotta watch my health, my mental health, my blood pressure. I don't got time for the stress. I don't got time for the BS, okay? So, examples, what am I talking about? Like low tolerance and nonsense. It could be toxicity. People who always gossiping, always talking about somebody else, always got something negative to say, or draining friendships where it's one sided and people only call you when they need something, or you got to listen to their problems and listen to what they got to say before you able to elaborate on what's going on with you. Disrespect, anywhere, in relationships, on your job, in your house, wherever, like you get tired of the nonsense. Okay, so what do I mean by like self-love increasing and tolerance for nonsense decreasing? So it's kind of like this: your self-love is going up, your tolerance level is going down. What is self-love? Why is self-love so important? Why do I talk about it so much? Why am I a self-love coach? Like, what is the big deal? Because everything starts with yourself. Literally, what really is self-love? Maybe we need to dive into that conversation, because a lot of times, especially on social media, a lot of terms can get misconstrued and misunderstood. It's not just bubble baths and, oh, I'm going to get my hair done, I'm getting my nails done, or I'm doing something superficial. You know what I mean? It's deeper than that. It's more than that. It's really about knowing your worth, your value. It's about setting boundaries to protect your peace. Boundaries is not, it's not a bad thing, and a lot of times they can create a lot of confusion, because you think, oh, I'm being mean, I'm being rude, or I'm being distant, when really it's just you are acknowledging that you are a human being and you are limited. Okay, we have an unlimited source, but as a human, we limited. We can't do everything. We can't be everywhere. We can't see everything. We don't know everything, right? And so that's where boundaries come in and protect us. You don't want to go the extra mile, burn yourself out, especially if people don't appreciate it. Most times they don't. So it's really not worth it. Okay, what else is self-love? It's choosing peace over chaos. Like I said a little bit earlier, if chaos is your tea, hey, chaos is your tea. By any means necessary, that's your thing. But a lot of times, as you age and you grow, you mature, you have responsibilities, you are taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. You really just want peace. You're not really up for the riffraff. Not saying that you can't go there with somebody. Not saying you don't have it in you, to defend yourself, or, assert yourself. You definitely do. But all in all, we just want peace, right? Most of the times you just want peace. You ain't got time for all the extracurricular activities. All right. So it's like, it's shifting. It's like, it's this shift that happens with self-love, and what comes with truly loving yourself and valuing yourself. Imperfections, no, flaws and all, like we all, have them. We all have imperfections. We all fall short. We all have things about us that we want to change and we want to grow and we want to get better at, right? But you got to love every piece of you, every part of you, every stage, every experience, and everything that you had to learn through trial and error. You wouldn't know the things that you know now had you not gone through the things that you went through. You wouldn't have the knowledge, the wisdom, or the expertise that you have now. You wouldn't be the person that you are now without those experiences and things that have shaped you in the past. So it's really going from, caring about what other people think, their opinions, what they gotta say. People have an opinion whether you're doing bad or good. Opinions come and they go, okay? Everybody have one, all right? So it's really just shifting from living for other people's approval to, being authentic to yourself. Just being truthful to yourself and how you feel. If you're not up for that toxic relationship or that toxic friendship, that one-sided friendship no more, so be it. Forget what people think. They're going to think stuff all the time anyways. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And just moving on is talking about nonsense, self-love increasing and nonsense decreasing. What is this nonsense I'm talking about? It's whatever that's draining your energy, okay? It could be disrespect, a lot of times disguised as jokes. People, I'm just playing, or you look like you getting big. I'm just playing. Like, you're not playing though. It's not a joke. They try to disguise it as a joke because they too don't like confrontation or chaos in a sense, but they don't want to be upfront and insult you. So they kind of wrap it up as a joke. Yeah, nonsense. One-sided relationships. We talked about this a little bit. If you the one always calling, always checking up, always checking in, always being there, being the support, following up, and they not doing the same, they not, reciprocating that energy that you giving them, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't believe in matching energy, because if somebody is around me or is in my environment and their energy is really toxic and really low, I'm not stooping down there. I'm not doing that. But I do believe in giving what you get, when it comes to relationships. Like I said, we are limited. We are not these supernatural beings, unfortunately, okay? We are not. And we have to acknowledge that. But if you always the one that's giving, support, honey, listen, you need to slow it down, and you need to wheel it back in, and you need to match where they at with you. Now, granted, people only give what they have when they have it, right? But at the same time, you got to reevaluate some things if you always the one reaching out, supporting, cheering, different things like that. Because relationships was never meant to be like that. What else? What other nonsense are you talking about, Sadie? I'm talking about being undervalued or ignored. You can't make people see your worth. I get that. You can't make people see who you are. You can only show them, right? And that's what I love about this one right here, is that, it's okay if people undervalue you. It's okay. You value yourself, and you show them how much you value yourself. And once you show them how much you value yourself, maybe they'll value you too. But you don't deserve to be ignored and undervalued, period. Nonsense. Moving on. Once again, the constant drama, the negativity. That's nonsense. Listen, whatever you put out in this world, that's what you're going to attract. So if you putting out drama, naysay, negativity, low vibrations out into the environment, out into the world, out into the universe, out into other people's lives, it ain't gonna do nothing but bounce off of you onto them and right back onto you. So that's how I look at it. And people wonder why you're such a positive person, you this and that, you this and that. And it's like, some people question it. There's a false positivity thing. I'm okay with being, called positive, but I love more authentic. It's because it's not like everything is a positive experience, right? It's not. Some stuff irritates your soul. It pisses you off, right? And ain't nothing, you don't see no positive in it at the moment, right? I like authentic more, because it's really just being aware and being conscious and being self-conscious enough to know that, what, if I want blessings in my life, if I want abundance in my life, if I want peace in my life, if I want love in my life, if I want the finer things of life, you don't get that stuff for nothing. You don't get it for free. Okay, you have to do something. That's the same thing like the Bible teach you. It's impossible to please him without faith. You have to have faith. You have to move in faith, think in faith. You have to meet the Creator halfway. You can't just He's not a genie in a bottle. You just ask for this blessing, ask for this. What are you going to do to expand the kingdom? What are you going to do to help your neighbor? What are you going to do to expand society? You got to do something, honey. Y'all think we not here to just be on social media, fun and games, and just kicking it. Like, that's not what it's about. All right, we got work to do. We got work to put in. That's why when somebody pass away or they die, what do we say? Rest in peace. Rest. They're in a resting place. So if you still got breath in your body, you not at rest, honey. You at work. Moving on. What else do nonsense look like? Over explaining yourself to people who don't give two people who don't care. They don't care. They don't care. So why explain yourself to people who is committed to misunderstanding you? They don't even care. First off, they really don't care, especially if it don't benefit them. You really got to understand. I'm trying to put y'all on to some game. Y'all really have to understand most people do not care. Like there is a very select few of people who are genuine, who are caring, who are healers, who are helpers. It's a very few of those. Very few. But as humans, as the race of the humanity, people are naturally selfish. I'm just telling you right now. So that's why I say you have to focus on you. That's why I teach self-care. That's self-love and confidence. Because you got to take care of you. Because guess what? If you are a person with a big heart, if you are a giver, if you don't mind supporting other people, endeavors or supporting them in any type of way, shape, or form, you gonna get walked all over. All right, I'm just gonna tell you like that. You gonna be a doormat. So that's why I teach you self-love. Like, put yourself first, baby. You know why? Because that's what everybody else is gonna do anyways. They're gonna put themselves first. So you need to put yourself first, and then you can help. You know, a lot of times people with big hearts, our boundaries, you know, it's kind of like misaligned and messed up because, you know, we want to help and be there. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. It's not. But, honey, you're going to be burnt out, resentful, agitated, irritated because when you need something or you need somebody to be there for you or check up on you, they not there. You know, that could get upsetting after a while, okay? So, what is this shift that happens? You know, once you start loving on yourself more and pouring into yourself and focusing on yourself and making yourself a priority. I'm not saying you can't help people or be there for people, but what I am saying is that if you're not all the way there, you can't be no help to nobody else. So the shift that happens is you stop doing a few things. You know, what's the few things you stop doing when you start loving more of yourself? You stop chasing. You stop chasing. You slow down a little bit. You know, you get a little bit more mindful, a little bit more peaceful, and know that what's for you is for you. You ain't got to chase after nothing. You don't have to chase after a man, a woman, a dollar bill, and nothing, honey. When you work on you, when your energy is right, honey, you attract. You don't chase, you attract. Hello? What else? You stop explaining once again. Stop explaining yourself. People don't even understand themselves. How the hell do you think they're going to understand you? Or your journey. That's something I had to learn, y'all. Too busy trying to prove myself in my 20s. Like, I got to go. I had my first child at 19 years old. I had so many speculators, so many doubters, so many this. I feel like, oh, you think this going to stop me? Let me rev it up. Let me show you. But you know what? I reached a point of peace where it's just like, you know what? This is my journey. This is my individual journey. Why in the world do I feel like I have to explain myself and my journey? And I got it on lock. You hear what I'm saying? You ain't got to tell people. You just show people. You ain't got to tell them nothing. We talked about this before. If you and them switch shoes, trust me, they wouldn't be able to walk a mile in your shoes, but you make it look real good because that's your journey. That's what you was equipped with. You stop settling. You stop settling for the BS. You stop settling for less. You stop settling for nonsense. It's like you understand your time is limited, so you out. All right, we got a few more things and we're going to close this thing out. What else? Your boundaries become non-negotiable. Period. Self-love equals standards and boundaries and values. And if it's not aligned, then guess what? It got to go. What else? When you begin to love yourself and setting boundaries, it can feel uncomfortable, y'all. I'm not going to lie to you. If you used to putting everybody first, putting everybody's needs above your own, and saying, I'm not going to pick up the phone, not today. I'm not going to go to that event because I'm just not feeling it. I don't want to be around these people. They don't make me feel good. This don't make me feel good. I'm not going to do it. This may feel uncomfortable because you know what? You coming out of the external stuff, the external validation to what I was saying. To people saying, oh, you acting funny now, or you think you better, or you distant, or you cold, or oh, look at you, you know. And it's like that stuff might get to you after a while. The shit don't get to you no more. What else? You might feel guilty. Like I said, you might go through a stage of guilt. You feeling guilty. It's false guilt, sweetie. It's false guilt. And then outgrowing people and situations, that's part of the growth. Like a lot of times we be loyal to people in our past, like because we have history with them, because we've been friends since this year and for this many years, we feel obligated to stay connected to them. No, you don't have to feel obligated to stay connected to nothing. That's what life does. Sometimes it moves you in different directions. And then after a while, honey, just like anything that's hard, a payoff season come. What happens with that payoff, honey? What you gonna give that payoff when you start loving on yourself more and more and more? More peace, less chaos. It might be, people think peace is boring. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was very negatively driven before. I had a very negative mindset. The one thing about me though, when I had this negative mindset, I didn't take it out on people. Like I kind of kept it internal, internalized it, right? And so when I began to meet peace, real peace, it felt a little boring because then the drama gone, it's like you don't got nothing to entertain you. And that's where reality TV come in for me, at least. I don't know where you get your entertainment from, or, if you feel like you need something, because you want peace in your life, but it's different when you watching somebody else chaos from a distance. That's different. It's a different type of entertainment. But I'm talking about TV as well, not real life, because I don't want to see nobody, at least nobody I know, going through nothing crazy. I really don't. What else? What's the other payoffs? Higher quality relationships, honey. Relationships. This is friendships. This is romantic partners. You attracting better. You better be better. You attract better. Higher quality. You know what I'm saying? What else? Stronger confidence and self-respect. This is the star of the show. Stronger confidence and self-respect. When you walk into a room, your energy gonna speak for you. You don't have to open up your mouth. You don't have to say nothing. That's why a lot of times, a lot of women I talk to, they think that men are intimidated by them because of their confidence and because they like independent and they pay their own bills and et cetera, et cetera. And it's like they know that they can't come at you with nonsense. They can't come at you with BS because they know that they're not on your level. So therefore, you eliminate a lot of nonsense just by having stronger confidence and self-respect. And what else? Emotional freedom. Yes, I love this emotional freedom. You just got room to tap into your creativity. You just got more space, more emotional freedom to do the things that actually bring you joy and happiness. You just got more room in your life. A lot of times we ask God for blessings and we want this and we want that. But it's like you got to make room for that stuff as well. You got to move some stuff out to invite some stuff in. So if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. All right, I want you guys to reflect on what you've been tolerating these days and start setting one boundary a day. Okay? Love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. And make sure you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace.